And we'll transition over. Jump back over here. Hi, Marty.
Hey, yo.
Well, welcome to Clinically Inane.
We are the clinically inaniest show you'll be on.
Yes, that's true. If you haven't watched our show before or listened before, we are a podcast out of the Seattle area. We generally like to concentrate on things that are in Seattle, things that we like, movies, music, games, etc. And in that vein today is music.
All right.
So we got, I just tried to do the math on how long I've known you. Old friend Marty Gomez, who a long fucking time.
13, 14, 15 years. I don't know, something along there.
Might want to jump a little bit closer in there.
Perfect.
There, perfect. There you go.
Yes, yeah, something like 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
6 years, 5 months, and 2 days.
Longer than that.
No, for as long as I've known him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, no, it's still longer for you because it's probably around. It's closer to 10.
Is it closer to 10?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
because you've been in Seattle in the Seattle area for about a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause I graduated college a year ago.
Yeah, but
And what have I done with my life since then?
a podcast.
Yeah.
We're here because Marty has actually released a new album.
Yeah?
And well, because like as long as I've known you, you've been making music.
Yeah, definitely.
And so this is your first actual release out into the world. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, feels long overdue, but feels really good.
Well, I remember you had done like demos and recordings. Like I had a few. I bet if I dug deep into the annals of my computer, I could find some of them, but I can't promise anything. Which, by the way, I know that we're on. So just quick thing from a technical perspective. I've noticed that when we set up 3 cameras, sometimes there's a little bit of lag with the video. So if there is, I'm sorry.
So I'll just stop moving.
I can't do much about it until we get a better computer and better cameras. But that's okay. The audio's still good.
Is it really?
Yeah, ish. So yeah, as I say, you've been playing guitar pretty much your entire life, haven't you? Pretty close.
Yeah, at least half of it. Probably picked it up, I think, sophomore year of high school. So
So it was before or after you met Curtis?
that was before. I think you're in...
No, it was after.
Was it after?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've known Sean for much longer.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if I couldn't remember if I ever met you when I met you because you were in college for a lot of that.
No, but I remember you coming over to the house
Okay.
when you were young. You may not remember doing that, but I remember that.
I remember thinking, "Holy shit, Big Sean!" But
yeah. Marty grew up being good friends with my younger brother, which is how we know each other.
Yep.
So, and so yeah, you spent a good chunk of time at my house when you were growing up.
oh yeah,
Some of it when I was there, some of it not. That's okay. You know, whatever. We're friends now, I guess. But what initially brought you to be like, I want to get into music, like actually start playing music?
to be honest, it was kind of completely by chance.
Yeah.
Just my grandparents had bought me a small little acoustic guitar, probably when I was like 4 or 5, and I just run around the house and kind of bang on it, and then never really learned how to play guitar. Just kind of made noise on this thing.
Yeah. Of course.
And then
It hit people with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I definitely smashed one in the bathroom because I remembered seeing it on a commercial somewhere. I thought that looked cool.
Yeah, like saw the clip from Animal House
Something like
or
that.
something like that, or saw El Kabong.
Yep. But anyways, no. Then just for whatever reason, one day picked it up, started kind of messing around on it, and thought it was really fun, and just kept doing that for, let's see, I guess 12 to 13 more years after that. And just never really stopped. A couple years after picking up that guitar, played first concerts, and just kind of kept going from there.
Yeah, I remember your the old high school, the old high school bands.
Mm-hmm.
What was your band called?
It's called The Road to Fame and Girlfriends.
That's what it was. Yeah, The Road to Fame.
How
and
do those work
Girlfriends.
out?
He has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I do have a girlfriend, but long after that band.
It was a long and winding road.
No, that's a Beatles song. It does help that your girlfriend's awesome too.
Yeah.
So, but I remember seeing you guys playing like community center shows, stuff like that. What made you realize like I actually want to write songs as opposed to like I like playing guitar. Like I know a lot of people who like playing guitar, but that kind of begins and ends at I learned how to play a cover.
To be honest, part of it was I just didn't have the patience to learn songs.
Yeah.
Like I'd start to learn a song, and when I first started learning guitar, I really didn't like to play chords because they were hard. So I just played as much like open chord stuff as I could, and did as little with my left hand as I could to still make noise on the guitar and still
It's
make
like
a song.
it's still in tune.
Yeah.
Ish.
So that really doesn't lead to like learning a lot of songs really easily.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
I mean, there's the power chord metal, but
Yeah.
I mean, was it Tony Iommi learned how to play the power chords for Black Sabbath because right before they left, the story goes, this could be made up, but the story goes that when Black Sabbath was getting ready to leave England and go on tour and go actually like pursue music, they were working in like steel mills and stuff like that, and he cut off the tips of his this part's actually true. He actually did cut off the tips of his fingers and had to play with little
Wax bottle
caps. Yeah. And that is 100% true. The story of that's how he discovered what they called the devil's chord, if I remember correctly, was that he discovered if he downtuned his guitar, it hurt less to play with the wax on his fingers before he got like good prosthetic pieces or just learned how to play without them. But that's like it was he learned how to play a new type of music because his fingers hurt. So
right. Well, his fingerless fingers hurt.
yeah, his fingerless fingers hurt. So like
to become a good artist, cut your fingers off.
Yeah. That's how you become a guitarist. No, what I take away from that is half of music innovation is being like it seems easier this way.
Half of innovation is it seems easier this way.
Yeah, the other half is your half, which is like, well, this seems harder.
No, in my brain it seems easier.
In your brain, yeah, I guess that makes sense. In your brain, it makes it easier. But no, like that makes sense. Like you decided, just like I'm just gonna decide to create my own music instead.
Yeah, definitely. And I did learn a handful of songs here or there.
Well, I mean, obviously,
but yeah, no, always.
Marty, play a White Stripes song. That's like the easiest thing in the world. Hey, should I play another song? Play the hardest button to button. Okay.
If you have, if I have to.
Do you know Wonderwall?
No. No,
just never had the reason.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't learn it. Couldn't play it. Didn't want to.
I could learn it.
Couldn't bring yourself to do it.
Couldn't bring myself to do it.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
You should fuck with people and be like, anyway, here's Wonderwall, and then start playing a different song. Yeah, see what happens.
Well, yeah, things I have a couple of friends who would, if I knew how to play Wonderwall, that's all they'd ever want to hear.
Yeah,
for the bit. So
part of it would be for the bit, and then there's that one person who's a hardcore Noel Gallagher fan.
That's true.
Or is
not even Oasis. Just
Noel Gallagher.
Yeah.
Well, those fans are very split these days.
Right.
Like they are very contentious with each other. But as are the brothers. Surprise. No, like because I remember some of the songs you wrote when you were a teenager. Some of them were very teenagery.
Yeah.
Some of which I still think, if I remember the ones I remember correctly, I still think you could bring back and rework. Are any of the songs on the new album any like old ones that you decided to bring back?
The oldest one is on the album is No Romance Blues, and that one
that's the one we're gonna play today.
Yeah, that's the one we're gonna play today, and that one I wrote in I think 2012.
Oh wow, so like 7 full fucking years ago.
Yeah, or at least started writing it.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, right.
You were in college?
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote
You would
it.
have been like your senior year of college or something, or
Yeah.
real close.
Yeah, I wrote it in between junior and senior year of college. Yeah, I just learned open tuning, open G tuning, or found out about it, and
My world has changed.
yeah, pretty much, and that's the song that came out of it first, at least,
Well, yeah,
or at least one of them,
and then got refined and refined
Yeah.
and refined over the years. I was gonna say, most of the songs that are on the new album, I feel like I've heard most of them before in some form,
yeah.
and just been like I know that chord progression. Those are different lyrics, though.
Yeah, that's.
So how many of your songs on the album have the same chord progression?
It's all in open tuning, so I'd really have to think about that. I think the album does like 4 different tunings or something like that.
There's a few. It's really entertaining because right now you're a one-man band.
Yep.
You're pulling the Dave Grohl thing, where it's like, all right, I'm gonna do drums, guitar, bass, vocals. Get somebody to help me mix it.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, you got
Yeah.
somebody to help me mix
Yeah,
it.
I did.
Real quick, shout them out.
Yeah, Sean Green.
Sean Green.
Yep, Sean Green. He got connected to him through old friend from high school, and yeah, he did a wonderful job on the album.
Nice.
I'm really, really happy with it.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. But it's pretty entertaining watching you play live because you did kind of a somewhat informal release party kind of thing.
Yeah.
About a month and a half ago.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an album release show. It ended up being an album kickoff show.
Yeah. It was, and just kind of ended up being a fun like basement show.
Definitely.
It was a perfect basement for it. Apparently, you couldn't hear a fucking thing outside.
It's wonderful.
And it was loud in that basement. Which is, good to know. More parties at their place. But no, it's you and a bunch of pedals and drum and do you have recordings? It's not a live drum machine.
It's recordings.
It's recordings.
Yeah.
That we I literally sat down there with Marty and his girlfriend when he was like getting all the sound ready and being like, this one the levels are a little bit lower, I think. And so we had to sit there and listen to it and be like, that one needs to go up, that one's down. Okay. Like, are you trying to do that? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
But what brought up, was it just sheer frustration at trying to put a band together that made you be like, I'm just gonna do this myself?
Or was it just laziness?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Like I'd done bands and been in bands before, through high school and college. But honestly, I knew how much more time and effort it would take, and with a lot of personal and professional life stuff going on, just didn't have the time to really do 4 to 6 hours of band practice every week. And learn all that together. So this is a way I was able to put everything together kind of in my own time and when it was able to work.
Yeah.
So.
When did you start recording it?
2012.
No, probably about a year and a half ago.
Year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Marty's actually an engineer. Yeah. So you would have been in the midst of your PE prep, wouldn't you?
It was pretty much the second I finished taking the PE.
Okay, you took the test and you were like, time to start recording?
Yep. Pretty
Okay.
much. It was like, oh, that's finally behind me. All right, let's have some fun.
Yeah, because those who have never dealt with the engineering tests, PE stands for professional engineer, which means
it's
that...
not like running the mile and shit.
What's that?
It's not like running the mile and
No,
shit.
it's not like physical education. It is. It basically means that he's allowed to stamp official documents that get shit built.
Yep.
In the state of Washington, at least.
Yeah, and I can even be liable for it.
Hey.
Yeah, they can sue you for it too.
So Marty can engineer shit now.
Yeah,
And get
but-
blamed for it.
Yeah. And Marty and I work in a similar field. I'm just in the marketing area of it, but which makes me definitely know the fact that holy fuck, the PE test is a goddamn slog to get through.
I work on the opposite end of it.
The opposite end. Yeah, it's true. You after they tear everything down, it goes to you. But yeah, it's a fucking slog. So I can imagine you got out of it and you're just like, all right, my brain is free.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Hopefully it retained some of that information.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awful? You get out of it and you're like, I fucking forgot everything.
Yeah, well, it's gone now.
That's what books are for.
Right.
Look it all up
Yeah.
repeatedly.
I mean, Marty, you did it the right way. You finished your PE, got through a little bit longer, so basically work finished paying for your shit,
Yeah.
and then you fucked off to Europe for a couple months,
Yep.
which was like that was a genius idea.
It was real nice.
He left clean shaven
Yeah.
and came back with a beard.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
Yeah, I thought it'd really help with the whole like prodigal son sort of
Yeah.
look and vibe.
Yeah. Wanted to go for the Messiah walking through the desert,
Exactly.
kind of thing. Except the desert was
SeaTac.
yeah. I mean, sometimes depending on what
Those
terminal
5
you're
a.m.
in.
flights. It's
Yeah. But I forgot what I was going to fucking say. I don't know. We grew up. Yeah, no, we
you're
grew
gonna
up.
have to go on the album.
We also grew up listening to a lot of the same music.
Yep.
Which is obvious in the fact that
You enjoy his music?
well, I enjoy his music, but it's also obvious in the fact that like clearly a lot of you have an insane breadth of influences in terms of your music.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
Because like I remember going, like we've gone to, at least you and I have
Mm-hmm.
gone to metal shows together.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone to punk shows. We've seen some folk bands. We've seen some electronica. It's kind of all over the place in terms of
Yeah.
just the stuff that you and I have seen together.
Art style hip hop.
Oh yeah, art style hip hop. Yeah, let's not
Experimental hip hop.
experimental
yeah.
hip hop. Yeah, we can't forget about clipping.
No.
That was
Absolutely not.
that was such a good show.
Never realized glass was an instrument.
Yeah, that was such a good show. I normally I would be annoyed with where we were stuck at, but like we could see directly down and be watching exactly what they were doing. It was so cool.
I never realized I needed to watch someone just crush a microphone in broken glass at a concert.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, normally it doesn't sound good, but like the way that they did it was just like, holy shit. How do you fucking figure that shit out?
Right?
But like, I mean, you have a little bit of insight into that now, like of actually making an album.
Oh, yeah.
You get a little bit of insight into how the fuck do I do this? Well, we'll figure it out.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, fuck it, we'll do it live. What do you think was the most challenging thing for you about all of that stuff? About like the actual album recording?
That's a good question.
Because you've recorded demos and stuff before,
Yeah.
but never anything that's been fully produced.
Correct. Yeah. I'd say learning to program the drums might have been the hardest piece.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not a drummer. My rhythm really isn't that great. So,
At least you're aware.
yeah.
Yeah.
But for that, I had to go in and program all the drums in these little MIDI, which is pretty much just a big grid of on your computer, and you put these little squares in, and each square is a drum hit, like a kick drum or a cymbal.
All right.
So I had to just through trial and error and hours of repetition, like start putting all these different like drum pieces together and finally figuring out, okay, yeah, this actually kind of sounds like drums. Or like, wait, this would never happen.
I mean, the question is which choice you go with there then.
For this album, I wanted to
stuck
stick
with the
I
that
wanted,
sounds like drums.
yeah, I wanted to keep a really kind of stripped down garage rocky feel for it.
Yeah, as I say, there's this very garage blues
Yeah.
style. It was outlaw country style to it a little bit too.
Yeah.
Like I can hear a little bit of that in there.
Twang.
It's in the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really where it lies.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as you pull out the fucking slide, it's like, okay, that we're in that realm.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I'm playing a Gretsch on most of the album, so that guitar has so much like twang and those are like country twang guitars.
yeah, they are 100%. But country twang guitars also cross over with like hard rock guitar
Oh yeah.
very, very easily. But like, so when you're putting together a drum beat, like how do you go through? What's your process that you go through, other than being like, click, 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 no, click, click, click.
So for me, and drummers that hear this are probably gonna hate me, but
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
drummers who hear anything from not drummers are gonna be annoyed by it.
that's fair. But anyways, yeah. So usually I'd start by just recording the guitar track to a metronome, get it close enough to on rhythm or on tempo to be able to actually map out a drum track to it, and then from there just start with the kick drum, get kind of a basic feel for it. Usually I just put the kick drum with the downstrokes of my guitar, just because that's how I keep rhythm with my guitar, a little bit. So do that, and then start feeling out and trying out different fills and cymbals and that sort of thing, and just kind of peppering everything in after that.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Yep.
Do you start? When do you have to walk away?
It depends on the song. Yeah, they're making this album. There are some sessions where I'd wake up at 8 and probably go for like 10, 12 hours.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Just with like some small breaks, because like those would be days where like just like took work, had a sick day that I took work off, and just sat in my room where I had a free weekend day and just cranked out as much as I could.
You ever like? Did you have to? I'm always curious because we were talking about this. We ran into a friend of ours. Marty and I went to a show last week. Ran into our friend of ours who's actually been on the show, TJ Grant, who's making some like weird experimental kind of music right now. And he was talking, his wife was talking about how at one point she felt like she was trapped in a prison of sound.
That was amazing.
And they needed to have a conversation about music boundaries and like when it was okay. I mean, TJ's making like the fucking weird experimental shit right now.
He's crushing microphones in glass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where TJ's at.
And the last I heard of it sounded pretty damn good. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, right. But his wife described it as, I got out of a nice, relaxing bath. TJ had to run to the store or something, and he just left his stuff going. And I walked into the bedroom, and it sounded like somebody was like the entire house was being murdered. Not a person. Just the house was being murdered. And that's when they had to have a talk about it. And like I always wonder, like when you get into those 10 to 12 hour like hardcore, I'm sitting down and going for it. Are you sitting there? Are you creating like sound in the room? Do you have headphones on? At some point does your girlfriend come in and be like, it's time to stop?
The occasions where I did those like massive sessions, like those longer sessions like that, I should say. With those, it was more like I was trying to do the entire song start to finish, so it'd be like 4 or 5 different elements of it that I'd be tracking through.
Okay.
And doing all the tracking on. So at that point, it wasn't quite as maddening, because it's like, all right, for the first half of the day, I'm going to do the scratch track and drums. And then after that, I'm going to get the guitar perfect. And then after that, I'm going to get the vocals. And when it was going good, it was really exciting, because you're able to like see the progress of every track as it kept going. And that was enough to kind of, energize me, keep you energized to keep going for it, because sometimes you'll sit down and it'll be like, you'll be sitting in something for like 2 or 3 hours and you'll get nowhere.
Yeah.
So you're just happy to be making progress at that point.
Yeah. I am curious if Jordan ever came in and was like, Marty, please stop. Once or twice.
I think no, it's usually just like, can you just come here and love me already?
Please get off your computer.
Yeah, just like, I'm bored. Wasn't so much like stop making this noise as it was like, I'm bored. Come hang out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's a valid thing.
It is.
When Marty got back from Europe, I offered him concert ticket. I had a ticket for to go see Greta Van Fleet.
Oh, that's right.
Like the day after he got back. Yeah. I was like, what? I messaged him when you were still like over in Europe.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you get back what day? And he's like, this day. He's like, I have Greta Van Fleet ticket the next day. You want to come? And he was like, normally, yes. I love my girlfriend. I have to hang out with her.
I would like to keep her.
Yeah, I would like to keep her around, please. And honestly, if she wasn't awesome, I would have been like, dude. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, she also did put up with me leaving for 2.5 months
Yeah,
while she was back home.
Exactly. And I mean, and I'm sure you're just like, hey, look at all these pictures of these beautiful places. And she's at work, like, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, she was starting a new job too, to
Oh.
make it even worse. Yeah.
I mean, and you're off living this fucking hobo hippie life.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
you're
Yeah.
getting to see, new cities, and she gets to see a new bathroom.
Yep.
Hey, and a new kitchenette.
All depends how fancy your work is.
Yeah, that's true.
Not everyone's got a kitchenette.
That's true. But what I'm curious, what inspired this? Your kind of style for this, going for the blues rock, country, like folk rock style for this album.
Part of it was just I have a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I tried a couple times before to do something like this where I get a project going and put an album out, and every time I just kind of petered out halfway through or something like that.
I remember a lot of acoustic stuff. I remember a lot of punk stuff. Like I remember a lot of pop punk stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, but for whatever reason, like I just one day realized I'm like, oh wait a second, I have enough bluesy songs to actually like put a cohesive piece of work together.
yeah.
And these are all really fun songs that I enjoy playing. So let's go for it. And on top of that, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like this is music that doesn't have to be pristine. It doesn't have to be like I'm trying to think like a Death Cab or Modest Mouse record or something like that, where everything is
Or,
like
well,
a newer one.
a
like,
newer one.
Yeah,
I was
like
gonna say,
not the early stuff.
You
but
listen
like
to
a new
like the
one.
first Modest Mouse album, and you're like,
Yeah. Oh, and I love it for that.
Yeah.
But like those like or like a Rick Rubin album.
It doesn't have to be a studio precise album.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not produced within an inch of its life.
Yeah.
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 So I mean,
because you like, for example, we've had conversations about was it next month we're both going to see Titus Andronicus.
yeah.
And I think they're a band that I can actually point to as a direct influence to this album in terms of their old garage punk.
Yeah, some of it for sure.
In terms of the style of like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
We're playing with feeling.
Yep.
Where
Yeah.
like we listen, if you listen to like their first couple albums, even though the Monitor is is a concept album technically, and almost every album after that has been a concept album.
Yeah.
But with like you listen to their first one, it's very much like a written garage, like it's a garage punk album, and part of what makes it, part of the charm of it is the fact that it does sound dirty.
Mm-hmm.
It does sound like it was recorded, in a garage, in a basement, in a bedroom, in a bathroom, wherever the acoustic sounded best, whatever you could do.
Yeah.
Right there, that's where it was recorded, and that's kind of what makes independent albums like the one you just put out special, is the fact that it is very much a labor of love and a labor of I'm gonna fucking do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you say, that's what I really like about this style, I guess, is the best way to put it. The style of like garage rock.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it just has so much more energy to me, at least. Or for me, yeah, it feels like there's so much more energy when you have it stripped down and a little grimier like that.
Yeah, it's more fun too. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, not to take away from immaculately produced albums,
Oh no, not at all.
because like some of them are fucking phenomenal.
Absolutely, but they're really fucking hard to make in your bedroom.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I mean, I think that could be said of pretty much any art form, though.
Yeah.
Like when you're starting out or when you're working on a no budget, part of what you do is you
Improvise it.
improvise. You're coming up with workarounds,
Mm-hmm.
and some of those workarounds are like in your case, it's I don't have a band. Guess I'm gonna figure out how to do a fucking drum machine.
Yep.
It's the song recorded in the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, it's like we were talking about Weird Al the other day.
My Bologna.
Yeah, My Bologna is recorded it in the bathroom.
Because it had like the echoey effect you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to like now echo effects are real easy. I could do it on that fucking soundboard right there. All I have to do is do click, echo, and then turn it on. and it goes. But you wouldn't have been able to do that back in the day. I mean, that was part of what makes these like insane things so much more fun.
I think his first album, he was literally just recording on like a single little unit with a built-in microphone.
Yeah, it was like those. What is it? That thing you do.
Yeah,
they record in the church. Have you seen that thing you do?
Mm-mm.
You should really fucking
where it's like
watch
the all-in-one like cassette player.
It's the all-in-one cassette player.
A little
with
microphone built in.
No, it was a little reel-to-reel.
Oh,
It was like a 4-inch reel-to-reel. Because it was like the 50s or some 60s. And they got to record their 60s rock song. So, it's like poppy rock, kind of Beatles poppy rock. But in order to improvise in the movie, they get the local pastor to record it for them at the church because he has the ability to record things because they record gospels, like gospel music.
Yeah.
So he records the rock song for them at the church, and it's on one of those little tiny reel-to-reels, and that's what it takes to move to the next level. I mean, it's an time-honored tradition.
Yeah. Homemade cassettes, homemade CDs.
Yeah.
Now SoundCloud.
Now SoundCloud. Yeah.
Yep.
Although, I don't know what do you go to when you're listening to new music? Like, what's your go-to?
To be probably like a Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their stoner rock one I've loved for a while now.
Yeah.
Or
the post-rock playlist is pretty fucking good too. That's where I like really got into like Jeff Rosenstock and Antarctigo Vespucci, like, and all that stuff. But yeah, Spotify's a good one. I don't know. I find SoundCloud very not user friendly.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, this is wrong, but every time I think of SoundCloud, I think of just like SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah,
that's all I can think of. Then I was like, no, I'll just go somewhere else. Yeah,
yeah. Bandcamp is really great. I wish it had more of a platform to actually like listen to the music. But that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to be able to sell music to individuals. Hello and good evening. Somebody jumped into the chat.
Right.
Hello, TP Poker. I don't know who you are.
TP Poker.
Yeah, you can ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
Please. We're on a little bit of a delay here between when we go live and the chat. So we'll just fill time until they can get their question. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, please jump in the chat and ask away. We're just going to stare at this until it happens. So, Marty.
Yeah.
What's your favorite album right now while we're waiting for the question?
Ooh, that is tough. Favorite album so far that's come out this year, at least, would be Better Oblivion Community Center. It's Connor Oberst and Phoebe Bridgers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know who Connor Oberst is. Never been the biggest Bright Eyes fan or Connor Oberst fan, but
I really liked him when I really liked Bright Eyes in high school when I was younger, and then I feel like it's been nice because as I've gotten older, his songwriting's matured a little bit.
Like most good musicians,
right?
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't stay 15 forever.
Yeah. I mean, Taking Back Sunday's still making the same album, but that's okay. They're only like 40.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really like that one. There's just some really great songwriting, and the musicianship on it's really nice. Really excited for Brittany Howard's new one that's going to come out soon too, of Alabama Shakes. Yeah, she released at least one track off of it. It sounded a little jazzier, sounded a little funkier, a little more experimental than Alabama Shakes, but still with kind of all that groove and I don't know, all the good guitar work that made me like him so much in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is interesting. Thank you. And may I say the stream ball? Okay.
I recognize that username.
That's an interesting question. Not really what we've been talking about today.
Oh.
But give a shout out to Dennis Hopper, great American RIP, shout out to Dennis Hopper. He's been dead for a long time, dude. A very long time. Question is now Betty White. Betty White hasn't passed. Betty White's still alive. There, people are RIPing people in the. Okay. Well, you know what? Have fun in chat. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that Betty White is still alive. Unless, is this breaking news?
Yeah, God, I hope not.
No, Betty White is still alive.
Yeah, Betty
Okay,
White's
good.
still alive. Okay.
Don't do that to me.
Everyone else in Golden Girls is dead,
Yeah.
but Betty White is still very much alive.
And she was actually the oldest of the Golden Girls.
Yeah, she was. Trust me, if anybody knows about Golden Girls in this group, it's Boyd. Mostly because you're the oldest of us.
Yeah, well, I'm closest to being a Golden Girl.
Oh, she passed on doing the.
Oh, she declined the show.
So you got your
Phrasing.
dude. Now that my question is, now that Betty White has passed, that means she died. She passed on doing the reboot. I don't see why they would do a reboot.
Yeah, no. It'd be like Fuller House all over again.
God, Fuller House is
It was
so
so bad.
fucking bad.
It was so
Doesn't
bad.
she have like the Hot in Chicago or something?
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
Like, she has another like TV Land show.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still on, but
If you're gonna reboot Golden Girls, just bring up new Golden Girls.
or just don't.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like there's enough Golden Girls as is. Like, I don't think we. Am I wrong? Did they feel that way? It got what, like 5?
Well, and I
6
want
seasons?
you to
7?
7?
Yeah.
Yeah. 7's a good run.
Yeah, I mean, and also you think about how old they were in that show. Like they were old women. Mm-hmm. Fucking Marissa Tomei is like the same age they were now. Like you saw Spider-Man, right?
Which one?
The either of them, Homecoming, Far From Home. Like you saw Marissa Tomei in Spider-Man. She's Aunt May.
Okay.
Like she's still hot. Like I don't understand. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna ignore that comment, and we don't. Yeah.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, we're done with that now. Okay. That's an odd comment. Back to music, Marty.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, that really fucking threw me off. But what do you think your goal is for the now that the album's actually out? Like, are you letting it sit for a while? Or are you going to try and actually book some stuff? HK Nick, not you having bad comment. It was the other one. You don't
You
say
know
sorry.
who you are.
You don't have to say sorry. And no, we don't know that channel. Sorry. But what do you think your goal is?
So ideally, I'd like to start booking some shows for the fall and winter. Start playing around town a little bit. Just get the music out to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
That's really the goal. I have another batch of songs kind of in my back pocket that are ready to start tracking and producing, but I want to focus on getting these songs out first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna stick with the style that you have, like the bluesy country rock style, or you're gonna try and evolve it a little bit more or change it, or is that because like you said you had this pile of songs that were in this style for this album? Do you have a pile of songs that are kind of in a different style, or?
Yeah, I have another pile of songs that are kind of more
Polka?
little no polka. A lot in 3/4 though. No, just a little more
Ska?
no, just a little more subdued, a little subtler.
Quieter.
Yeah, in some cases, yeah. A little quieter, a little like denser sonically, I think is kind of what I want to do after this.
Okay. So like
For this album, I kept myself very strict with it, where I really just wanted a drummer and a guitarist to be able to play it live.
Okay. So
and if you couldn't do that, then no more tracks.
If you got one person to drum, you could go.
Yep, we could play the whole album start to finish, and it would mostly sound pretty similar.
Nice. Yeah. That's a good place to be. I mean, honestly, it's like the album is like the perfect set length too.
Yeah.
Like you could fill time with like, I know you have a couple covers that you can do, and just be like, okay,
And here's Wonderwall.
I have 6 minutes left. We're gonna play a White Stripes song.
Yeah.
Or something like that. No, that's great. Do you think you would want to? Do you think you have to find a drummer first before you want to play live shows? Or are you okay with doing the drum machine?
I mean, it'd be ideal to have a drummer, but I'm not going to turn down a show because I don't have one.
If somebody wants to give you a show, you'll be, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play.
I will play anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Anywhere really.
just most places. I don't have my stuff. He specifically told me not to bring a guitar.
Okay, that was a weird comment. Okay.
More weird comments or same weird comments?
Same. But anyway, internet comments. Gotta love them. Some of you are great. Trust me. Some of you are interesting.
That's a nice way to put it.
I'm trying to be nice. But what do you think? I keep on getting thrown off by this. Marty, how's life?
Do you think you're gonna have a chance to play live? Are you hoping to? Or you got anything out there to do it?
Nothing out there right now. About to start the process.
The process of actually reaching out.
Now that I actually have songs that have been produced and sound nice, I can actually, and have been on the internet long enough that there's a couple plays on them. I can actually send it to a promoter somewhere and say, hey, this is what I sound like. Want to put me on stage for 30 minutes or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of online, where can they find you online?
You can find me at Marty Gomez Music on Facebook, and as well as Instagram and Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube, any major streaming service or music place online. The music will be there. SoundCloud. There's like
a song on
the singles on SoundCloud. The rest of the album will be on there.
Marty Gomez Music.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go over that again at the end too.
But if it's any of the streaming services, just Marty Gomez, and it's the first artist that comes out.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, huh?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Google did try to give me Martin Gomez. Okay. All right, dude. Somebody getting butthurt at us in the comment for basically saying his comments were inappropriate. Oh, yeah. I don't feel bad about that. When your comments are inappropriate, dude, I'm not going to feel bad.
Anyway.
But I hope you guys check out Marty's music. He's a great musician. Yep. But saying basically coming in and having some less than stellar comments are not the best way to interact.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about music, if you want to ask questions about music, right now that's kind of what we're on the vein of. So please do jump in. But
happy to answer.
Yeah. But sorry if that's not your thing. But that's what we've been talking about for like 40 minutes. So so like you've gone a little bit through the process of booking shows before as an independent artist. Like what is that like for you?
Kind of like speed dating sometimes.
Yeah.
or kind of like almost like Tinder a little bit, where you like send out a bunch of different requests and you're like, I really hope one of these comes back.
Yeah.
But honestly, for a lot of the shows I've played, I've been the one organizing and putting them on. I'd say the majority of shows I've played, I've actually just organized it in some kind of DIY space, whether it be a community center or some kind of restaurant or just kind of whatever space I could find set up. So or a friend's house or
He's singer, guitarist, drummer, and agent.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the deal of being an independent artist is you kind of just got to deal with that kind of thing.
Yep.
It's fucking tough. I've helped our friends book shows over the years, and it's fucking hard, man. Yeah, it's a grind.
It's a grind. It is.
It really is. It's really fucking hard.
Yeah. I love making music, but I'll be honest, I do not enjoy the publicity and the marketing aspect of it. The hustle it's exhausting.
It is. It really is. There's a reason that there's a lot of people who give up on it. Mm-hmm. It's because it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have an actual question from that person.
All right.
Regarding music. Music question. What are your thoughts on Nas's new Lost Tapes 2 album? I don't know. I haven't listened to it.
I haven't listened to it either. I know it apparently took him way too long to get it out.
Yeah.
Well, it was lost.
Yeah. Well, I had to
lost,
find it.
They're Lost Tapes 2.
No, I need to get to it, though.
Yeah, I haven't been on much of a hip hop kick recently. It's being planned. I'm assuming that means panned, but I happen to really like some of the tracks. Nas has always been a good actor, rapper. He was an actor too for a little bit.
He's acted a couple times.
A good rapper, but like, it's hard to release an album after years and years and years, and
It's been 17 years since Lost Tapes 1.
yeah,
Wow.
Jesus,
Yeah.
fuck, dude.
Makes me feel better about, you know,
I
taking the time.
I was in high school. I was in high school when that came out.
Yeah. Lost Tapes 1 dropped September 23rd, 2002.
Oh shit, I was in junior high.
Wow.
And Lost Tapes 2
You were
dropped
11.
last week or 2 weeks ago.
You were 11.
And it's nuts.
So 17 years between.
Shit, I was in high. Oh no, I was just out of high school.
Yeah.
When Nas, like, yeah,
17 years between albums is a lot of build up, man. Like, there's a lot of people waiting for your.
it's a lot of people forgetting.
Yeah, it's a lot of people forgetting. It's also a lot of people building up in their head what they think your shit needs to sound like.
Yeah. It's
Like, that's fucking hard. Like,
Yeah. I mean, no one wants to do Chinese democracy, right?
that's what I was just thinking about. It was fucking Guns N' Roses. Yeah. To be fair.
To be fair.
But that's not fair to compare Nas to Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not because like Chinese Democracy is a bad album. It's so bad. It's bad. It's not been. No, it's been 17 years since Lost Tapes 1, not since his last album. What was his last album, Boyd?
That's what I'm getting to.
But
Yeah, no, but since Lost Tapes 1 was 17 years.
okay, so he did release. He has. I was gonna say that seems like a long fucking time. I remember listening to stuff from him in high school.
Kanye West announced that Nas album came out this year.
Just look up Nas's fucking discography there, bud. It's not that hard.
Oh, there's been a lot of. He's got a lot of songs out in the last few years, but
Gotcha. So Lost Tapes is just unreleased.
Compilation of scrapped.
yeah.
So Lost Tapes is just a compilation of scrapped songs from his previous albums. I mean, it's hard. Was it fucking Kendrick did that with
Untitled and Mastered.
Untitled and Unmastered, but that was awesome. Like Untitled and Unmastered was
I mean,
like one of the best, one of the better.
Nasir was last year.
Okay. One of the Untitled and Unmastered is one of the better like was one of the better like B-side albums to be dropped like in a long fucking time. I can think of other like B-side albums like Steal This Album was all songs that
Didn't make the cut for Toxicity.
didn't make the cut for Toxicity,
Or
and
the
I
one before.
I think it was both of the albums, and they're just getting pirated. So
Yeah.
System of a Down was like, "Fuck it, let's put it out." I mean, Gorillaz did G-sides, which was okay. Like B-side albums are fucking hard, man.
And I think it is because I think a lot of times the B-side is there's a reason it was the B-side.
Yeah,
There's a reason you didn't put as your A material. And
I don't know, but I do kind of like it though. I do kind of think it's fun to to look into kind of artist heads. See like, this one didn't quite make the cut for the regular album.
yeah.
But I still appreciate them putting it out because there are diehards out there who want to hear every last piece of music that you put out. Like there's artists like that for me that I would go and listen to bootlegs of them playing a song that it's only been live or something like that. And I would love to hear it.
Well, like one of my favorite things in that vein is there's only like a live bootleg version of it of Audio Slave covering Seven Nation Army.
yeah,
Like there's only like somebody recorded it at Coachella, and that's the only way you can hear it. Is somebody just recorded it on their phone or something at Coachella.
there's a number of good covers where the only version is some live version recorded at a show. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that just happens sometimes. Was it one of the greatest recordings ever was is Jimi Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner at Woodstock,
Yeah.
and it's just him deciding he wanted to do that.
And he goes into that, and he goes into like just sound effects with drum, like bomb sounds effects on his guitar and whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one of, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say the best album of all time. Nas has the notch on his belt of the greatest hip hop album of all time. Is the comment? It's I wouldn't say it's arguable.
It's in the conversation.
It is in the conversation. But Illmatic is one of the best albums ever created. Yeah. But it's God, it's hard to fucking live up after like you release those albums.
Yeah.
Like you think about second albums after a lot of those number ones.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially for like a breakout band too, right?
Yeah, breakout artists in general. Yeah.
Because I remember reading it somewhere, like someone put it really nicely, where it's like you have your entire life to write your first album, and then 2 years to follow it up.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it.
Well, there's expectation to both be innovative and the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's why there's literally the terminology sophomore slump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's because it's like you said, you had your entire life to write that first album. Mm-hmm. Great, you've been signed to a deal. You have 4 albums over the next 10 years ready to go.
Yeah.
Or Weird Al's case, you have a 16 album deal.
You got a 16 album deal.
Woof.
That's what was it? His final album that he put out, because you notice he hasn't put out an album in a few years. Mm-hmm. His final album that he put out was the final album in that deal that he signed in like 1985, 86.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Some agent got their money worth out of
I was
that.
gonna say, I'm wondering like who was pushing that, you know?
Yeah, like
Weird Al's like, oh no, this isn't gonna last forever. I need to really milk this.
well, it's like he signed the contract. The contract, like he signed it with Sony Music, if I remember correctly. Sony Music is still fucking around, man.
Yeah.
It's still around. It's
because
not
of Weird Al.
Because of Weird Al. He's floating through the hard times.
Yeah. Oh. Well, and he was signed in the 80s when they were just handing out record contracts like fucking candy.
But 16 album contracts.
Yeah,
I've never heard of a 16 album contract.
like somebody was just like, you know what it was? Somebody probably went, you know what? There'll always be a place for parodies.
That's fair.
Parodies, and he's fairly family friendly. You got like this mashup there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always a place. Well, you think about it, and like,
It's like the Twinkies of music.
Yeah.
it's like a Twinkie Wiener sandwich. That's from UHF, motherfucker.
Still felt like the right expression.
Yeah. But it's, you think about that, he's been around longer than most artists, like including ones that he's parodied.
Been around, as I most than most people he's parodied.
Yeah. People have forgotten more songs. People have forgotten more artists than Weird Al has parodied.
When was the last time you heard Coolio?
Oh, I don't know, man. Actually, you know what I did hear?
Throwback back playlist.
Yeah, I did hear Gangster's Paradise.
I mean, which do you hear more nowadays? The Amish Paradise or Gangster's Paradise?
Gangster's Paradise, because nobody plays Amish Paradise in the mall when you're walking through.
Which one do you think about more?
Amish Paradise.
Weird song to be playing in a mall in the first place.
Isn't it weird? Like you walk through a store and you hear all of these like songs that you're like, I remember this being like scandalous. Yeah. And
right?
now it's like being played music in a store.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is great for the public.
Yeah.
Bring your kids.
Yeah. It's evolution of shit, you know?
Oh yeah.
So it is with movies too. Things that were like, you look back at things that the rating systems in movies, it's kind of weird. I bought Coolio a drink at a bar in Las Vegas last year.
Just remember, Limp Bizkit is classic rock now.
Dang. Huh.
What year did that album come out?
Significant Other?
Yeah.
99.
This year it's 20 years old.
Yeah. Nookie is classic rock.
Wow.
I mean, Nirvana's been there for a minute.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters has created classic rock and survived through to now. Say out of all, I say we've been to a lot of shows together. What was your favorite one that you've been to?
Korn is classic.
It's a good question for you too. What's your favorite concert you've been to?
Favorite concert I've been to?
Go for it, boy.
Hey, why do I get put up first on this question?
Because Marty has to open a new beer.
Because I'm grabbing a beer.
Oh. I gotta think about it for a minute, because it's a hard one.
We've been to a lot of shows in the last couple of years.
That's the thing is, like, I mean, and what context do you say greatest? I mean,
that you felt like you really and you were there, you were present for the music, and after the show was done, you still felt like you remember the show, you remember the way the show felt.
Marty Gomez's basement show.
Thanks.
Like the most impactful shows I've been to, I have to go to a couple because there's Crystal Castle, or I don't know if Crystal Castle anymore, but Clipping, Major Lazer, and probably Willie Nelson.
Okay.
Yeah,
For different reasons.
yeah. I mean,
Like-
if you're talking about like most impact on what shows stick with me the most.
Yeah.
I really wish it was Willie Nelson and Crystal Castles for the same reason.
Willie Nelson was the
You're really high at both.
Willie Nelson was the first professional like concert I ever went to.
Yeah.
The theater I was working in, he did a fundraiser for us. So as an employee, we were on a little table, like it was an acoustic set, and we were on a little table up front,
Wow.
like close enough you could smell the weed.
I mean, it's I have to give it to probably the one that stuck with me the longest has been Caravan Palace a couple years ago that we
that
went
was
to.
The one we went to?
Yeah, the one that we all went to.
That was a really
That
good
was
show.
really good.
Like the way that the crowd interacted, and we had like such a good fucking time.
Fiddler was a good one.
Fiddler was good too, but like that one has stuck with me a lot. Close second to that is Brand New on the Devil and the God tour. Comment: my favorite concert was an all-day reggae fest in '98 in Queens, New York. Oh Jesus,
Wow.
that would have been so cool.
Yeah.
Buju Bound. Wow. 10 hours outdoors. God, that sounds. In 98 in Queens, that would have been an interesting show. Would have been a lot of fun, probably.
Yeah.
I was 7.
Yeah, I was 10.
Yeah. But even so,
Boyd was 40.
Significant Other had not come out yet.
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit was not a major band yet.
Yeah. What was yours, Marty?
Probably Jack White at the Paramount on the Lazaretto tour.
Which was when?
It would have been 2014.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He just came out and he was super hungry. He had gotten a bunch of bad press like the month and a half, 2 months before.
Oh, he was hungry for like the show, not
Yeah. No, he was like, I just really could use some fish and chips or something. I don't know what Jack White eats, but
Yeah.
There was a show where Jack White was eating tacos on stage.
blew my mind. No, but it was awesome because like I'm a huge Jack White fanboy. If you listen to the album, that'll probably be pretty apparent.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to see like one of my favorite artists come out on stage and already renowned artist, already very famous, towards the top of people who are doing music today in popular music. But you saw, at least to me, it seemed like he really wanted to get to that next level. He wanted to be like a Led Zeppelin, or he wanted to be just a classic timeless artist, or Hendrix or someone like that.
Yeah.
And he was like fighting for it as hard as he could. And
You could feel it.
yeah, and you could feel that.
It was less desperation, more just wanting to put on a good show.
Yeah, I think he was kind of pissed about the whole all the bad press he was getting. It's like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna take all that and I'm gonna put it into the best possible concert I can.
Yeah.
That's right. It was a good album.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the White Stripes in I want to say 2004, 2005 in Portland. They were amazing. This is the worst show I've ever been to.
Oh, no, that's tragic.
Like everyone was sitting quietly in their seats. Like no one was like getting up and like having fun. Everyone was sitting quietly in their seats. I said something to my uncle who had taken me to the show, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder and asked me, "Can you please stop talking? I'm trying to listen to the music." That's when we got up and like walked away and found a place to go stand because we were just like, "Fuck these hoity-toity old fucking rich people."
I need to be anywhere than next to this human.
Yeah. And I was 17 or so. Yeah, I think I was 17. And my uncle, who was at the time, like a high up executive in a Fortune fucking 500 company. And even he was still just like, fuck these fucking rich white people. It was pretty great. No, that was a great show.
Yeah.
Awful concert.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how a shit crowd can ruin it like that.
Yeah.
Reminds me of an old Beatles comment. All right, all you people down front, clap your hands.
Should turn around.
All
and
the
slap
rich
the hell out
people,
of-
shake your jewelry.
It was an old white lady. I wasn't gonna slap the hell out of her. I just stared at her angrily. What's that?
The old Beatles comment of everyone down front, please clap your hands. Everyone in the back, shake your jewelry.
Yeah. It was everyone in the balcony.
Or in the all the rich people in the balcony,
Yeah.
please shake your jewelry.
Yeah. That being said, we're getting near the end of our hour here. Marty, thank you so much for coming over and hanging out and talking with us. Like we said before, if you want to find Marty's music, it's Marty Gomez Music on Facebook. You can also check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google Play,
YouTube Music.
YouTube.
And we're not doing a song live.
Marty is not playing a song live. I'm
Okay.
about to play one for you.
So I don't know, like, dig out Ashley's
Acoustic
ukulele.
ukulele. We have a ukulele in that closet.
You ready to adapt?
I don't think it translates well.
Yeah. No. If you stick around for a minute or so, you can listen to the single off of your new album. What's the album called again?
Our new album's called Spirit Don't Break.
Spirit
The
Don't
lead
Break.
single's called No Romance Blues.
All right.
Yep.
And your online is Marty Gomez Music.
Yep. But for Apple Music, Spotify, all the streaming services, just Marty Gomez.
Yep. So yeah, let me get everything set up right here. Make sure we're good to go. Yeah, it does take a few clicks. But yeah, so here it is from the new album, Spirit Don't Break, Marty Gomez's No Romance Blues. Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Girl, you come so close, and you pull away. You got me asking now what decisions I might make. Look me up and down. I know just what that means, but I got tossed so tall. They don't mean a damn thing. Girl, you got me staring now, and I think you know why. The way you move